giving the ball away in those areas. You know, allow the likes of Schrone and Langlaar to get in those areas to spray the ball out wide and hit them with pace out wide, which is what they've got. And they've got the power in the middle as well with Harrison Sawyer. So real pace and power in that attacking line.
That one's tapped long to the back post, and Brennan was there. Once again, just these long balls, these long throw-ins, causing perhaps a little bit of panic in the Heidelberg defence. They looked strong in pre-season, did the Burgers, but now that something's actually on the line, a few questions for coach George Katsakis to perhaps answer when they head to the sheds in 15 minutes' time. Jankovic sends it straight back in the direction of Sawyer. The bounce will be kind to Mikkola. The pressure from Falla. In the end, the Heidelberg right back will do well to win his side the ball. Trying to turn it around the corner, does well. Ball played in, Sawyer's there. And it's going to be a goal kick in the end. The Clarendon corner thought he'd scored.
Looks like it's going to be a corner, Joey. You know, I think that they got a touch on that just in the end there, but they thought that was in. And from our vantage point, it always looked like it was wide.
Andy Brennan. Amble back over. Got one assist to his name already from open play. Can he add a set piece one to that? And we see a different look now from South Melbourne. All the players on the edge of the box. The runs come. And Jankovic was lurking, but instead it's going to be another corner kick to South Melbourne Hallas. This one from the other side.
Absolutely peppering at the moment. You can see 11 yellow shirts inside the box right now. They're recognising the threat from set pieces. That was actually Kane Shepherd who got his head to that one to clear it away. Doing a bit of defensive work down there. We haven't seen much of Shepherd at all today. But right now, Heidelberg are really, really under duress. They've got to weather this storm. They've got to find a way back into this game. But South Melbourne looking very, very likely to potentially find the second before the break.
It will be Max Mikkola. What can he do? Comes in towards the near post and it bounces. Oh, good Lord, that could have gone anywhere.
Almost an Olympico there from Max Mikkola. Unbelievable. Well, it caught all the Heidelberg players off guard, even probably the South players too. In some finish, and what a way it would have been to open up his South Melbourne account if that had somehow snuck in.
Langlaar, Summerskill coming in with a fair challenge, and he wins his side. Free kick. No, sorry, not a free kick, a throw-in. Will be Joey Frenich to take. Zara, perhaps a handball there, waved play on. Summerskill. For Hagic. Back to the Liverpudlian. Summerskill. And out to Adrian Zara on the left, but he's not that tall, so it will be a Hallas throw-in on the right.
Clear shout there for a handball against Zara in that initial build-up play. Looked like from our position like he clearly controlled that with his arm. Adam Bavkar was having none of it. He thought it was play on.
has drifted into a bit more of a central role late in this first half. Ooh, a bit of a risky header from Alan Roberts there, but he's going to get away with it. Indeed, it looks as though Mikola and Brennan might have switched here, Nick.
Yeah, it looks like they have. Looks like get Mikola more into the game. Bar really his Olympico attempt at his long throws. He hasn't had probably the same impact on that left-hand side, so maybe looking to try and expose Joey French a bit more.
Some skill tries his luck from a long way out, sort of in a similar position to what we saw from Kane Shepherd earlier, but that one, well, Lopez collected it, but probably the danger was about the same. There's 10 minutes left in this opening stanza. Just the one goal so far off Alun Webb for the hosts.
It's very shaky at the back right now, Heidelberg. Just some lapses in concentration just in key moments. Just lacking a bit of synergy right now. Something that, as we mentioned, George Katsakis really needs to address at half-time. He's making a couple changes, looking to get some fresh legs on, whether it is someone like Sean Ellis in the midfield to try and give him a bit of a spark. They need something right now.
Hands from both sides, battling for it there, and the Jankovic will win the free kick off Summerskill. Joey Franic carries it out and then slides it across to his brother. Foster just quickly play it to Summerskill. Press coming in from Webb. Danger for Federhagic. Had to get rid of it quickly in the end, and South will force the turnover. From range, Schroen, he likes them from there. The rebound, 2-0, South Melbourne, Max Mikola.
There it is, his debut goal for South Melbourne. Bit of chaos inside the box. Heidelberg players left stranded. Mikola got some space. Great finish. A deserved second goal, to say the least, for South Melbourne. And right now they are absolutely flying. What a start to their NPL campaign. And it is.
Sums up the game, that goal, doesn't it, Nick? South getting forward, applying the press, force the turnover, come forward quickly in transition. Heidelberg can't quell the danger that time, and South take perhaps what you would call a deserved 2-goal lead.
Absolutely. And Mikola took that finish brilliantly. As we said, he made the switch over to the left-hand side. He's gotten more involved into the game. And he's showcasing his obvious talent. There's a reason why, you know, he was voted by his peers in the NPL Queensland Team of the Year last season. And that's exactly why. He had a brilliant pre-season as well, scored 5 goals in friendlies. And I'll tell you what, he's really translating that quality. And especially since moving, as we mentioned, to that left-hand side, he's caused all sorts of problems, and that's a deserved goal. A deserved second for South Melbourne, a deserved goal for Mikola. Now it's a real question, Joey. What now for Heidelberg? I mean, 7 minutes till half-time. Down 2-0 on the road. Haven't really tested at all Javier Lopez or the South Melbourne defence. It's been a real disappointing opening half for him.
Free kick taken cheekily short by Summerskill. Now it'll be whipped in. Waiting for it there was Pin. Headed clear by South Melbourne, but Joey Franic and Marlon Roberts can get us going again for Heidelberg.
You have to think some changes are in the offing in the second half. You think the likes of Sean Ellis and Kazuki Okada, even Luka Ninkovic might be looked at. Just to give him something different. Sean Ellis has been there and done that. One of Heidelberg's best players for quite some time. And you think he might be able to give him a bit of a spark in midfield where they've really lacked. They need some creativity in there if they're going to be able to get back into this game. Someone who can just provide a little bit of energy.
Sean Ellis, Heidelberg's second all-time leading scorer in the NPL era. 38 goals to his name ever since he joined the club. Trails only the king, Kenny Athew. Throw-in, can't collect it. Langlar will clean up. Summerskill just to find his way out of a cul-de-sac of trouble, but he does so. Just 5 minutes of regulation remaining here in the opening half at Lakeside Stadium. Heidelberg would absolutely love to halve this deficit before they head into the sheds. South, conversely, wouldn't mind catching them on transition and probably killing this game off. As they try to force a turnover there. Now, and Ashton wanted the professional foul on Andy Brennan. No doing from referee Anna Bavkar, who does have A-League men experience. One of the best referees going around the local scene here in NPL Men Victoria. Good to see him back. Good to see any referee giving up their time and helping to the unsung heroes, helping to make sure local football can actually run. You can't play without a referee.
Absolutely. It's just great to see football back, Joey. It's been so long. You know, local football coming back, and it's such a great turnout here at Lakeside Stadium. What an advertisement for the league.
Summerskill. He'll play it across to Franjic. The Socceroo. Liverpudlian combining. Nice little bit of hold-up play there from Josh Penn, but unfortunately for him, couldn't find a teammate after the dinky little chest down and flick on.
Well, it looks like Heidelberg have taken a bit of a leaf out of the South Melbourne books. Zara and Penn swapping wings. Both have been quite inconsequential in the first stanza, and Joshua Penn hadn't been getting onto the ball as much as he probably would have liked in his debut, and now will Sadrian Zara go up against the youngster Ben Jeeba. See if Joshua Penn can maybe cause Brad Norton some headaches.
Skill, bring it back inside, plays it out to Joey Franjic. Got a Hargic. Roberts. Heidelberg knocking it around, trying to find an avenue forward. Summerskill now, he'll collecting it, and this is a rare period of territorial dominance for Heidelberg late in the first half. They're going to want to capitalise. Extended period of possession, what can they do? As Roberts has to turn around under pressure from Sawyer.
A lot of the ball, Joey, but South Melbourne are happy for him to have possession in these areas. They haven't really threatened. They haven't been able to penetrate those midfield lines, and a very well organised setup from Esteban Quintas.
Franjic plays it forward. Now here, Zara on the left, but he had to go back to collect it, and that gave Ben Jeeba time, and forget all that, because it was offside.
Was just about to mention it was Heidelberg's best foray in that little spell of possession, but again, well organised, well set offside trap, forcing Zara off, and again, South Melbourne be happy just to see things out into half time. There's only about 90 seconds plus added time for them. They're happy to take this 2-0 lead. It's been a very, very impressive showing today from Hellas.
Lopez will try to get us going once again. Not very successfully, as it turns out. Joseph Franjic down the line to Zara, just flicks it over his head. Oh, and here we go. Bit of feeling seeping into this one. Toing and froing. Two old rivals going at it.
Bit of frustration seeping in there, Joey, I think, for the Heidelberg players. You can see Owen Ashton, Kane Shepherd, just a little bit of afters with the South Melbourne defenders. Haven't had the impact this game so far. And again, there's still a little bit of...
Rowan and Shepherd.
Yes.
They would have had a number of battles in these shirts during
Yes.
Shepherd's first go-around for Heidelberg.
And also Avondale alum as well, Kane Shepherd.
Rowan will be hoping for big things this season. He's been cursed with injuries pretty much his entire career. Had a healthy pre-season. That ball is played long. We'll only have 1 minute of added time here at Lakeside Stadium, but there's enough time for at least one more corner in 1 minute of added time.
We've seen how dangerous South Melbourne have been from set piece. The last one from him almost went in from Max Mikkola. And no surprise, it'll probably be him again taking it. Andy Brennan's shouldered the responsibility to Mikkola, unless they go on a bit of a short corner routine here.
One of those in-swinging left-footed ones. We can see the South Melbourne defenders, the tall timber getting up. Whipped in towards the back post. Almost bundled over the line. Cleared away by Heidelberg. Now Zara trying to bring it through, and he'll be dragged down, but inches away from 3 on the stroke of half-time, Nick Debano.
Unbelievable. Again, dangerous from set pieces. Great clearance off the line. Now, I believe that was Feta Hajic who got his head onto that one to clear it away. And so close to being 3-0 down, Joey. Alas, it's only 2, but what a start for South Melbourne.
Indeed, it is the hosts, South Melbourne, that will be taking a 2-goal advantage to the dressing room at half-time. Alan Webb opening the scoring for the game, opening the scoring for the season when they broke forward quickly in transition. And then Max Mikkola, also on debut for South, making it doubling the advantage close to the half-time break. So a lot of work to do in the second half for the Burgers, Nick.
Yes, absolutely. And they haven't really had the chances nor the forays to get forward. South Melbourne have been very organised defensively. They've got to get their midfield into the game. Maybe some change at half-time to try and spruce things up. But South Melbourne at the moment in full control, Joey, just deadly on the attack right now. That front line is working brilliantly. Their midfield is, ticking over in their defence, which we've become accustomed to under Esteban Quintas is a well-oiled machine and it's working just fine in 2022. So it's been a great start for Hellas, but a lot of drama still to go, hopefully, in this second half. Can the Burgers get back into it?
Well, as the disco tunes ring out here at Lakeside Stadium, it is half-time. Thank you for joining us for the first half on NPL.tv. Be sure to join us for the second half on the new streaming app, and also join us at half-time as me and Nick Debano will provide a little bit more of a comprehensive wrap-up. welcome back to Lakeside Stadium after the first 45 minutes of what will hopefully be a full and very entertaining 2022 NPL Men Victoria season. And if you are just joining us on NPL.tv, it is the hosts, South Melbourne, with a 2-goal advantage after the opening 45 minutes. New Welsh signing Alan Webb opening the scoring, and then the latest in a long pipeline of Queensland talent coming down to Victoria. What's his name?
Max Mikola.
Max Mikola getting the second goal. So, Nick, what did you make of the opening 45?
All South Melbourne making the most of this. I mean, they've been able to choke Heidelberg out. They've been deadly going forward. They've been equally devastating in defence, been able to hold Heidelberg out, not giving them an opportunity to attack, not get any control in midfield. Barely any opportunities for the Burgers. They've got to find something in the second half. Maybe make some changes and try and find something. But that front line there, Webb, Brennan, Mikola, Sawyer, it's going to be hard to stop in 2022.
I mean, we don't like to mention the other codes down here, Nick, and play into the old stereotype, but it really is a bit of footy tactics for South Melbourne. It's a long ball, the big man knocks it down, and then one of the speedy rovers comes in and collects, isn't it?
Absolutely. Knock it to the big lad and get the crummers going at their feet. And that's what they've been doing. They've been getting the ball to Harrison Sawyer. He's been knocking it down. You're seeing the pace of Brennan, Alan Webb and Mikola really buzzing around their feet and causing Heidelberg problems. That first goal, literally that. You saw Brennan burning down that right-hand side straight from the training ground, cross into Alan Webb and a fantastic finish. It's a really good sign that now maybe, just maybe, is the handbrake coming off a little bit for South Melbourne. You know, they played a lot of defensive football last season. Maybe they're going to play a little bit more on the front foot this year.
And Heidelberg, Alexander, they are maybe trying to do something similar with Kane Shepherd. We've seen him try to hold the play up on occasion, but it's just not really coming off for them. There's a lot of battles happening in that midfield, but more often than not, the Burgers are losing them. You're George Katsakis, your play acting is George Katsakis, Nick. What are you saying at half-time? Who are you bringing on to shift this around?
Well, the first name is Sean Ellis, is the obvious one. You know, he's one of the most experienced players that have played for Heidelberg, second all-time goal scorer in their NPL tenure, of course. And he's obviously got to give them something in midfield. That's where they're really lacking. We haven't seen much of Owen Ashton. We haven't seen Brian Summerskill be able to get in those areas to try and help out that front three. Maybe it's something in the front three. Joshua Pinn and Adrian Zara haven't gotten into the game as much as they would like. And we know Kane Shepherd is a devastating finisher, but he hasn't been able to get the service. Maybe if that change of bringing on someone like Alice or Kazuki Okada might be able to change something for Heidelberg. So I'd be very curious to see whether Katsakis turns to his subs and obviously his trusty veteran in Sean Ellis.
And I guess the other question for South Melbourne is we have seen them push the boat out just that little bit, a bit more of an attacking play. Does coach Esteban Quintes, does he revert to type that we have seen during his time at the helm of South Melbourne? Do they try to shut up shop here in the second half? Because sometimes it works, sometimes it goes very wrong.
Well, we know 2-0 is a very dangerous lead. 1 goal for Heidelberg and you're right back in it. If I'm Esteban Quintas, I'm looking for that third. I want to put the game away early. I don't want to give Heidelberg even an inch to come out and potentially get back into this game. Because if there's one thing we do know, 1 goal early can change the entire complexion of a game. And if you sit back and invite that pressure, it's just going to work perfectly into the pay for Heidelberg United. So, look, they defended brilliantly. They haven't allowed them into the game, but from set pieces, it's looked like that every single time that ball comes in from a corner or a long throw in, that third goal is coming. And we saw it late in that first half, you know, clearance off the goal line. They almost scored from a corner, almost an Olympico. So I'm getting a sense, if I was to put me, you know, the person to make a prediction on who's going to score the next goal, I'll tell you what, South Melbourne looking good to potentially go 3-0 up, but they've got to keep it going. Can't afford to invite that little bit of pressure to get Heidelberg back into this.
Well, perhaps one saving grace for Heidelberg, they will have the wind in this half. How much of that wind was playing into this success that we were seeing South Melbourne get? Those long balls over the top. Looking up, it doesn't look like we'll be getting rain, but we'll see what that wind does in the second stanza. But Nick, prediction hat on.
Yep.
What are you thinking? Are we going to see more goals? Are we going to see a comeback? Are we going to see a blowout? What do you reckon?
First 10 minutes are most important. I think if Heidelberg can get, I wouldn't be surprised if Heidelberg come out of the sheds, they have a bit of extra energy to them, especially if they make some changes. Maybe look to try and get on the front foot, throw on an extra attacker, but I do get a sense South Melbourne are going to be too strong and come out trumps here. Wouldn't be surprised they put in another one and potentially come out 3-0 winners.
Well, the thoughts of Nick DeBarno there. My name is Joey Lynch. We'll be with you for all the action for the second half on NPL.tv. Be sure to join in. Should be highly entertaining, we hope. immediately turned over. Javier Lopez boots it forward. Hasn't had a lot to do in the opening stanza, does Javier Lopez?
No, not at all. I mean,
as we welcome back our viewers onto the stream to the action in progress here at Lakeside Stadium. The score is South Melbourne 2, Heidelberg 0.
Big hello to our viewers on YouTube as well, joining us for this second half.
As you see there, Eowyn Ashton trying to get something going here under the lights at Lakeside. Absolutely pretty as a picture here in Albert Park. Ivan Franjic, summer skill. He'll look up and try to play a ball over the top there. It was intended for Adrian Zara, but Bradley Norton, aware of where the ball was, aware of where his man was, and aware of where he needed to be.
No changes by the looks of it for either side, Joey. We said wouldn't be surprised if Heidelberg looked to their bench for maybe some inspiration, but sticking with their guns in the early stages by the looks of it.
Well, they did have that period of late territorial and possessional dominance, even if it didn't really create any meaningful chance. But perhaps George Katsakis saw enough in those exchanges to justify keeping that 11 out there. Ball in the hands of Brad Norton, the captain. Long looping throw in forward. Harrison Sawyer trying to knock it down, and he will do so to the goal scorer, Max Mikkola. Now here we go, South in transition. Andy Brennan plays it back in. It was intended for Shrowin, but picked out by the Burgers. But there we see, Nick, that transition, oh so quick and can be oh so painful.
Absolutely. Nothing's changed there, and that front line is going to continue to keep causing headaches, and Heidelberg have to be ready for it. But in saying that,
this one's now coming forward the other way. Kane Shepherd left it behind, did a pirouette trying to find it, but when he did find it, it was running in the opposite direction. Alan Webb, who opened the scoring. Dangerous ball in. Sawyer will play it back, but Mikkola can't get on the end of it. But again, Sawyer is he's playing as a classic target man, isn't he?
Absolutely, and it's working. I mean, this is the best he's probably looked in a South Melbourne jersey since he's made the move back.
Mikkola has remained on the turf, so he can't affect this one. Offside position. Brennan keeps coming forward, knocks it in. Sawyer! Off the crossbar! The rebound and saved by Erish. What about that? The fantastic chance, and then the young goalkeeper coming up huge.
That is a tremendous bit of play. What a ball from Andy Brennan. A rocketing header there from Harrison Sawyer. But the follow-up there from Nick Erish making that save. Mikkola, I mean, he should have put that one away, but you got to give Nick Erish credit. That is fantastic reflexes. Despite the scoreline, he has not put a foot wrong all game. And with Brendan White out, I tell you what, he's putting in his best audition to get some more minutes as the season progresses. We know how good Brendan White's been throughout NPL and also in the A-League. So, you know what, though? Got to give him credit. Fantastic work.
Has to go to work again. Corner comes in. Nobody there to meet it. South will try to keep it in. Cannot do so. Burgers have a man down in the area as well. None of his teammates checking on him, so he's either not that popular or he's not really that hurt. Was saying how devastating South Melbourne have been in transition, but you get the sense if Heidelberg are going to find a way back into this game, they have to be ready for it. They're going to have to potentially be prepared to lose by more to try and get back into this game. They're going to have to throw caution into the wind. It hasn't been working. Plan A hasn't been working. They've got to try and get a little bit of spark from somewhere. And yeah, I mean, they've just got to find a way back. And if it is, you know, sacrificing a defender, maybe going a bit more attacking, maybe risking going down by a little bit more. That's what you've got to try and do. Another touch there for Nick Erish, former Melbourne City youth player, spent time with Port Melbourne as well. Worked under Heidelberg. Well, it's a bit of a weird transition. Erish was at Melbourne City, and he's come to Heidelberg and worked under the legendary Jeff Olver. And now the legendary Jeff Olver is the goalkeeping coach at Melbourne City. Ivan Franjic. Plays it back to Roberts. Franjic joining the Burgers after spending the 2020-21 A-League Men campaign with the MacArthur Bulls. Of course, perhaps probably most famous on the A Liga scene for his play with Barcelona. There he is. Franjic plays it out to the left. So the Burgers once again just being afforded the opportunity to knock the ball around here near the halfway line. This time looking for the byline, but South getting numbers back. Doesn't matter in the end. That is a heck of a shot there from Kane Shepherd, forcing a strong save from Javier Diaz-Lopez. First time he's really been called into action tonight, and the Spaniard delivered.
Also really the first opportunity for Kane Shepherd, in like a real good opportunity inside the 18-yard box. We saw him have quite a speculative effort inside the first half, but hey, if you get the ball into him in those areas, we know how deadly Kane Shepherd is around goal, and that's a brilliant save from Javier Lopez.
Got a Hagic manoeuvring himself into the penalty area, possibly a long throw coming in. Goes in towards the near post, bit of wrestling there. Kane Shepherd got a head on it, so it will be a goal kick.
Best chance there for Heidelberg. Well played in that little passage, and as we mentioned, what a save by Lopez, but to find that bit of space there from Kane Shepherd as well, just masterful striker play. It's the reason why he's been one of the best strikers in the NPL Victoria campaign, a reason why he got his opportunity in the A-League Men's for the period they did, whether it was at Newcastle or Western United. Very solid pickup by George Katsakis. He just needs to get a little bit more service, and we see when you get the ball to him, he can create headaches.
Ashton hands it back to Summerskill. There's a man on, and the man on won the ball for South. Now it's with Schroen. Norton looking for Mikkola now. Can't chase it down. No movement on the South Melbourne bench, up 2-0. Movement on the Burger bench. Although temperatures are beginning to drop here at Lakeside. They could just be trying to keep warm, or maybe give a hint to George Katsakis.
Obviously Katsakis in some deep conversations with his assistants, trying to work out which of those players we called on first. I mean, so far in this second half, they have been a little bit better. They've actually been able to create some opportunities, which is a good sign. So maybe he sticks with what's working for at least the interim, but seeing Ivan Franjic get on the ball a bit more as well.
Can only bode good things for the Burgers when their Asian Cup winning Socceroo is afforded the opportunity to start pulling some strings there from his position in the midfield. Juba puts the ball out of play before Pin can send it in.
We haven't seen a lot of Joshua Pin today. He's played on both flanks. He's now back on the left-hand side. He started on the left, went to the right. Now he's back on the left for this second half.
Long looping throw in. Again, it's gone over the head of Lopez. This time South can clear, perhaps get out in transition. Not if Mr. Ivan Franjic has anything to say about it. The sliding challenge, putting the ball into touch.
It's like South just taking the sting out of this game a little bit, Joey.
Sawyer and Roberts writing the latest chapter in their battles of the behemoths there in the South attack. And on that occasion it is Roberts that wins it, putting the ball out for a throw-in.
It's been a good battle between them two. Really, really good battle. Roberts has held his own. I think as much as Sawyer's been very, very dominant in the air, I think Roberts has done quite a good job against him. As we mentioned, not many defenders can go toe-to-toe with Sawyer in a physical bout, I guess, in NPL Victoria.
Another long throw-in opportunity for Max Mikkola. We saw him send a few in the opening stanza. Here is another one. Again, it was directed at Sawyer, who was trying to knock it down, this time in the direction of Brennan. And it's going to go out for a corner. Now we see the South Central defenders, Yankovic and Marshall, moving their way forward.
Well, if you haven't been paying attention to the first half, or you're just tuning in, this is where South Melbourne have been arguably their most dangerous from corners, from set pieces, and in transition have been the big three, the almighty three, but especially from corners.
This one played short. Eventually, overhit. And this one will eventually become a wasted corner routine for South Melbourne.
It's the first time they've really gone with a corner routine. And what's the saying? Don't fix if it isn't broken. And they've gone away from their usual in-swingers on that side from Max Mikkola, who's been so dangerous with his left foot.
Webb whips it high, gets his own header. Frednich keeps it in. Sawyer for company. Little tricky step over, get it on the right boot, and then just move it up the touch line. As the Clarendon Corners trumpeter sounds the charge, South look to come again. And we will also get our first substitution of the game, and it will be the Burgers that blink first. Awen Ashton will depart the field, being replaced by number 23, Chudar Tarjith, formerly of Bentley Greens and Ballarat City, now being relied upon by George Katsakis to spark his side back to life.
Looks like he's going to be playing a little bit more attacking, so an attacking change here from George Katsakis, looking to try and throw another, so he's going to be going out wide.
Big collision there, waved away. Good call from referee Adam Bavkov. Norton has time to dink it down the touchline. Mikkola, well, not sure what he was doing there.
We see Chargers taking his position on this right-hand side, so Adrian Zara coming central. I'm going to try out a little bit of pace down that right-hand side. They've really struggled in those wide areas. They haven't been able to create a hell of a lot, so it'll be intriguing to see whether Chargers can provide a little bit of energy. That's what they've needed. Ashton wasn't providing it centrally. Zara wasn't getting into the game on that right-hand side. Maybe a bit of veteran savvy in the middle of the park. Him and Brian Summerskill, two very much seasoned contributors in the middle of the park now. But still no Sean Ellis.
Hargic under pressure from Webb. Ball will eventually fall to Ivan Franjic. Loses Pat Langlar. And then is brought down by Harrison Sawyer. Take it quickly, just looping it forward. Marshall puts it over his head. Franjic gets another chance under pressure from Webb. Turns away from him. Good contest, but at the same time it's very much a round one contest. Players still just falling over themselves and not quite able to get their feet to do what their brain is thinking. A little bit too much brain thinking out there today, Nick Cabana.
Absolutely. I mean, there is obviously going to be that initial rustiness first game. You can play as many pre-season games as you want, but it doesn't matter when it comes to these sort of games. It's so much different when there's points on the line, when there's stakes on the line, and when there's bragging rights on the line, Joey. South Melbourne.
There's winning bonuses on the line. as South Melbourne break quickly. We've seen them in transition towards the back post. Mikkola, is it two? No! Max Mikkola denied the brace by some desperate Burger defending.
There's a yellow card been brandished as well in the play, but there's a player down. There's some desperate defending on that occasion. And as we mentioned again, South Melbourne just brilliant on the break. And I think that was Joseph Franjic. Been able to get a gauge of who put in that desperate lunge, but that was some great defending on that occasion.
Long throw in again from Mikkola. This time Erish comes and he's going to get there before Sawyer. And he's going to throw it out quickly into the path of Kane Shepherd. He's forced to turn and face his own goal and then eventually play it central to Summerskill. Now he's going to play it long, but unfortunately for the Burgers, the man that would normally be chasing those, Kane Shepherd, was the one that played the pass to Summerskill. See the South substitution bench has sprung into action as well, getting warmed up, perhaps. We'll see Hallas make a change. Up 2-0. Still yet to see Jai Ingham, their new signing. Or perhaps if they want to kill this game off, they've got Liram Almazi, fine defender on the bench there as well. Almazi, you'd probably be backing Almazi to start for quite a few NPL men Victoria sides, probably most NPL men sides around the country, but Jake Marshall and Marko Jankovic, such a strong pairing there, relegating him to the bench.
Absolutely. Real testament to South Melbourne's depth, and just wait for this corner.
The runs come. And then it's taken short. A bit haphazard in the end, but the Burgers won't be punished. Coming in now, the shot blocked away. Ivan Franic trying to do it all himself. In the end, he wins his side. Another corner kick. Wanted to take it quickly, but standing over it was Mikkola. Not allowing that one. Ivan Franic again. He'll go short again. Plays it central. Burgers still in there. Loads of time and space. Tee up. Well over the bar, and I don't think Lopez was particularly worried about that effort from Dom Fala.
No, very speculative effort there from Fala. A bit of a quiet game from Dominic Fala. Haven't called his name too much, playing it right back tonight. As we mentioned about South Melbourne's depth, Joey, it's unbelievable when you got likes of Almazi, Lambropoulos, Jai Ingham, Josh Wallen all on the bench tonight, and you're able to call any of these players on at any given moment.
Lopez sends it long.
We haven't even mentioned Chris Irwin as well, who's not even playing today.
Summerskill boots it forward. Zara giving chase, but can't get there before Lopez. On by Sawyer. It's all the way through to Erish. Now is this the moment for the Burgers, breaking down the left flank again? Desperate defending from South Melbourne, but a bit of joy along that left flank for the Burgers in the second stanza. But here comes South Melbourne. Webb wins the free kick in the end. And it's a red card for Aiden Fedahagic, adjudged by referee Adam Bavkar to have brought down Alan Webb when he was clean on goal outside the box. Can't be saved by the double jeopardy of the penalty area. So things go from bad to worse for the Burgers. Down 2-0, down a man. Nick, no good.
No, no good at all. I mean, that was clear as day. Last man, goal scoring opportunity. Can't argue with Adam Bavkar's decision. just sums up a horrible night for Heidelberg. As you mentioned, it's gone from bad to worse to now catastrophic. 10 men, 2-0 down on the road. And I think South Melbourne, fair to say, barring an absolute catastrophe of their own, they're all but home now and can put this game, at least on the score sheet, to rest from this free kick.
Yes, Heidelberg gets the Bronx cheer as he heads down the tunnel for an early bath. Now we will see what South Melbourne will do with their free kick. 5-man wall by the Burgers. Schroen and Sawyer standing over it for Hellas. Got the likes of Langlois waiting in the area, but methinks anyone wearing blue will be disappointed. They are only there for the rebound.
We saw what Marcus Schroen could do in the FFA Cup, Joey.
Well, here we go. Can someone pull a rabbit out of the hat? Will be Schroen. Oh, why? I was winding it up, Nick. I was winding it up from our position. That looked like it was going in, but just flashes wide of the post.
From our position, it actually looked like it was going in. It looked like it was flying into that top corner, just wide in the end. We know how deadly Marcus Schroen's left foot is, and on that occasion, very well hit, but just wide. Not enough on that one, but now Heidelberg having to go for these last 24 minutes down a man.
Back pass there, selling the keeper into a bit of trouble. Sawyer, like a bull seeing red, just came hammering in, and he's not given up. And in the end, in his enthusiasm, the big striker doing a bit of defending from the front, puts it out for a goal kick as the Burgers will turn to their bench once again. Now, the red card perhaps forcing George Katsakis' hand, needs to make an adjustment with only one centre-back on the pitch.
Looks like Ivan Franic has slotted in as a makeshift centre-back, whether that's for the rest of the game or...
It is Summer Skill coming off, it appears.
Looks like it's Kazuki Okada for his Heidelberg debut.
It is indeed Okada, recruited from Werribee City, the Japanese attacker. Does a bit of agent work himself, getting other Japanese players signed to NPL clubs. I mean, you want to talk about engaging with Asia, look no further than NPL Victoria. Quite a few Japanese and Asian players making their way around.
Really poor touch there from Tarjath on that occasion. Good chance for a break, but just got the ball caught in between his legs. Really sums up the evening for Heidelberg. Just nothing's really gone right, and South Melbourne right now could just coast these last 22 minutes, you'd think.
So, looking at what the Burgers are doing, it looks like Joey Franic, perhaps, is slotted into one of the centre-back positions, Okada to right-back. But now, here we go. Decent little area for a free kick here from the Burgers. Down 2-1, down a man, but stranger things have happened, Nick Devane.
Yes, they have. And I tell you what, this is a really, really good opportunity for them. And Ivan Franic has already set himself up for this, be himself or Kane Shepherd.
I think Kane Shepherd's going to find himself disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got A-League men experience, Kane, but I think the other bloke's resume has you beat.
And we've seen how wicked Ivan Franic's right foot is, especially from a crossing point of view. And we know he can hit a shot from range too. So this is in a really, really good position for him. And you'd have to be taking this one on. So good chance for the Burgers to potentially get back into this game if this can pay off.
There we go. Franic and Shepherd. These are the moments that you sign the Socceroo for. I feel like we overhyped that slightly, Nick.
I think we did. That never looked like it was going in from the second he left his boot, you know, chest up. And as you taught us a junior, you keep your body up, the ball's going to go up. And on that occasion, there's a poor effort on goal in the end there from Ivan Franic.
Oh, just losing his feet there, Ivan Franic. He's inadvertently taken out Mikola. No malice in it whatsoever, but the Queenslander has remained down. We'll stay with play. Brendan whipping it in the direction of Sawyer. Headed clear by Roberts, and now we'll get the play back. You can see Ivan Franic immediately jogging over. Did not mean that whatsoever.
Just a slip, and Mikkel was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and
Trainer immediately
yeah,
on.
doesn't look good. He's stayed down for quite a while, and
It's been a successful debut for
Yes.
Max Mikkola here in 2022 with South Melbourne. Scoring a goal, looking dangerous. Could have had another if not for a fantastic save by Nick Erish.
Yeah.
But
hit the post as well from a corner.
you would be thinking, if you are Coach Mr. Manquintes, even if he's not too badly hurt, it's round one.
Absolutely. Well, South Melbourne next in action against Bentley, Kingston Heath next week, and then Melbourne Knights at home and St Albans away. So doesn't get much easier in the next two at least.
So Mikkola looks like he'll be staying on. Trainer running off in one direction. Mikkola walking off in the other to await summoning back onto the pitch.
As for Heidelberg, Joey, it's Dandenong Thunder at home next week on Sunday afternoon, and then Bentley and Oakley after that.
The cliche, no easy games, rings true in the NPL Men Victoria. As Andy Brennan sees his cross deflected out for a corner kick.
Looks of it, Joe, so we're getting a change for both teams at the moment. Got some players stripped down and ready to come on.
Substitution will have to wait for the corner kick. Swung in. Players are arriving. Danger's not cleared. Langlar trying to just bundle Nick Erish and the ball over the line. Get the feeling the goal wouldn't have counted if he'd succeeded. But the Heidelberg keeper stands strong. So taking a sneaky look at the fourth official's board. Looks like Fala will be making way for Luka Ninkovic. So midfield reinforcement for the Burgers. Inbounds, there's third sub of the game.
Looks like El Mazi's coming on for South Melbourne, so some extra defensive reinforcements going back the other way. Maybe now starting to put the queue in the rack a little bit, South Melbourne. Just 2-0 up, a man up.
Yankovic and El Mazi can play as a 6, or perhaps we will see South revert to a back 5. That one played over the top. Will beat Yankovic, but his goalkeeper, Javier Diaz-Lopez, on the spot to collect. Really just the one major save Lopez have had to make, Nick, but
yeah,
it's been aware.
Yeah, well, his second game for Heidelberg, his first, his league debut for Heidelberg, of South Melbourne, sorry. Obviously making the move from Bentley Greens in the off-season. Big shoes to fill with Pierce Clark leaving the club, and he did a good job against Melbourne City in the FFA Cup, and he's been called into action, as you said, only the one time, but it was a great save. He showed his class on that occasion, so quite a decent league debut without being too spectacular.
There you go. It will be Marcus Schroen departing the field of battle for South Melbourne. Their first substitution of the game in the 74th minute. Miram Almazi coming on. Looks like Almazi will be taking up a position as a 6 in front of the South back 4. Former Altona Magic man, now South Melbourne defender, or defensive midfielder. Also, it looks like Mikkola will be staying on for a little while yet, despite the heavy knock.
You do have to wonder at full strength, how does Jyingham break into this front line? I mean, this front 4 has been brilliant today. There is no indication, unless there's a way to play Mikkola more centrally, unless there is a plan that Quintas has.
But then if you're playing Mikkola more centrally, what are you doing with Marcus Schroen?
There you go, and it's a flow-on effect. So it's a good problem to have for Esteban Quintas.
Booted up field. Sawyer shrugs off one of the Franjic brothers, but in his enthusiasm for the ball, he takes out the other one. W Franjic, W fun. Ivan Franjic sends this one high and long. In the direction of Tarjeth. He can't bring it down. Struggled to really make an impact on this game since he's coming on as the young winger.
Bit of a poison chalice came on, and the red card happened only minutes later, and he probably hasn't had the chance to make the impact, one, because the service hasn't been coming to him, and also because that numerical advantage probably has been the byproduct of that.
Zara sends it in, cleared away by El Mazi. First touch for him. Used to boot the ball out and force the Burgers to reset and recalibrate. Jiba plays it long, picked out by Ivan Franjic, but his touch is heavy, and Almazi just wins a little bit more territory. Now we see a few more changes being made on the South Melbourne side of the occasion. Will be Andy Brennan making way for Josh Wallen as one of the changes. Trying to see the board for the other one. The other one will be Jai Ingham coming on for Harrison Sawyer. So you are asking for him there.
Yep. Well, actually, it looks like Harrison Sawyer's staying on. It's Alan Webb that's been coming off. Yep.
I got my 9 and my 19 mixed up on the sponsor board.
That's all right. I was going to say, Harrison Sawyer shrunk a lot in the last few minutes if that was the case. But good to see Jai Ingham out there. Obviously last at Gold Coast Knights.
Very, very briefly at Gold Coast Knights.
After a stint in the Philippines. Can't forget, he's a 4-time All-White.
International and the Asian Champions League specialist for Melbourne Victory.
Yes. Made a name for himself in that competition. Another change for Heidelberg.
I think that was the hinted at change of Fala for Ninkovic. It is finally made. Now 5 minutes after it was hinted at by the fourth officials board.
So no Sean Ellis today.
Well, I did see him warming up.
I have to wonder, was there a fitness concern going into this game? Be very curious to hear what the reasoning was behind it. Whether maybe the red card was the reasoning behind it. Maybe they couldn't go as attacking as they would have liked. Were forced to bring on a card, maybe go a little bit more defensively.
You should start lobbying for post-game press conferences, Nick.
If you're listening, Football Victoria.
Here we go. South coming forward again. Sawyer on the right in the unfamiliar position of needing to be a provider from the wing. Does well to win a corner kick.
Good game today from Harrison Sawyer. Really good battle with Milan Roberts. And he's linked up brilliantly with those attackers. We've spoken about it all day, how well they've played in transition with Mikola, Brennan and Webb. 3 new attackers, first real go out with them. They didn't play together in the FFA Cup either, so this is the first real league opportunity we've seen them.
Langlar, deflected away, scramble. And then Amazi just sort of, he's barely broke momentum on his way back to defend it, Amazi there, to put the ball over the bar.
Yeah. True defender's areas there. Kicked it over the bar and ran back.
All in one stride.
It was like he was on autopilot there, Joey.
So just a smidge over 10 minutes of regulation remaining here. Lakeside Stadium. No goals in the second stanza. Remains South Melbourne 2, Heidelberg 0. Burgers now down a man after Aiden Fedahagic's straight red card for bringing down Max Mikola on the break. Headed forward, Roberts just uses the outside of his boot to send it back. Luka Ninkovic. No relation. Can't keep it in.
Nope. So it's a question of where to now for Heidelberg. That game against Dandy Thunder will be an intriguing watch. We do know that they will be without Federhagic. Whether they get some players back. Maybe see Ruben Way return the next game. Kartanis. It looks like it's going to be 5 games. The winless run continues for Heidelberg. South Melbourne finally breaking the drought.
And I've just seen on social media, Nick, that we're joined by people from all over the world. Andrew tuning in from the UK, streaming NPL.tv onto his telly.
Hello, Andrew.
Nice to have you with us. So he said he's from the UK, so I'm not sure. Maybe he's a web relative.
Maybe.
He knows Alan Webb in Wales. He's just said the UK, so I can't
Or wherever
know
you're
where
listening.
he's from / judge him for where he's from in the
Yes.
UK.
Wherever you're listening, watching, say hello. Let us know.
NPL.tv, available worldwide.
If you're joining us on the YouTube stream as well.
Bit of ping pong there, eventually sent forward. Joseph Franjic will have time to collect, and you can just see last 10 odd minutes, Nick, the sting has gone out of this one for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Heidelberg down a man, South Melbourne queuing the rack. You can see with the changes they've made as well. Quite happy with this 2-goal advantage. We're able to put the game away early. And look, Heidelberg had some moments before they went down to 10 in the early stage. That second half, Kane Shepherd came quite close and they started pushing, but South Melbourne very well could easily be 3 or 4 up had it not been for some good saves and the woodwork as well.
Whoa. Tigers there, just stray arm coming out. Lopez boots the ball forward to, I mean, Akada was in the vicinity, but he's wearing yellow, so...
So I'm sure Esteban Quintas will have a keen eye on NPL.tv tomorrow, maybe down at Jack Edwards Reserve for Bentley Greens up against Stokely. Well, sorry, no, Saturday, Avondale versus Bentley Greens at Avenger Park. Oakley's got Green Gully, so that's their next opponents at Kingston Heath.
Green Gully themselves having reinforced quite impressively during the off-season. Nahul Bernarda signing
the latest
there with Gully. Pretty much had a trial with Adelaide United around the new year, and then when that didn't work out, went Gully just swooping right in there and picking him up. Added the likes of Gianluca Iannucci, incredibly talented youngster. Spent time with Melbourne City, Melbourne Victory, and he's a young Socceroo.
As we mentioned, in action tomorrow against Oakley on NPL.tv. A lot more action this weekend.
It is attempting to drive the ball out, but you can see it was Kane Shepherd that splayed that crossfield pass, and you can just see how deep he started to come to get this ball, and it doesn't really bode well for Heidelberg if the man that is nominally their best avenue to goal is that deep.
Well, we saw in the first half he struggled to get into the game. This second half he's had to do a lot more work, and ever since they've gone down to 10, it's looked like he's actually playing in midfield now. And they've gone 2 up top with Ninkovic and Tarjar.
That one's headed through. Lining up. Sawyer, is this the moment? No! Hands up if you've ever been personally victimised by Nick Erish, Harrison Sawyer.
He's had some game today, Nick Erish. Coming into the season as the number 2. He's been the number 2 to Christina Reedus prior to this year. They've brought in Brendan White. Brendan White missing tonight. And he's put in one hell of an audition. Despite conceding 2, He's been fantastic. That's another great save from the youngster.
Mikola out swinging, left-footed effort, and there is the third goal in the end. I think we jinxed it, Nick Devano.
Yes, we did.
There's Harrison Sawyer from the set piece. That is why you have a striker that is the size of a house. He pops up from the corner kick, makes it 3-0 to South Melbourne.
A deserved goal for Harrison Sawyer. He's been in a great battle with Milan Roberts all day. He's been arguably one of South's best players today with his hold-up work and the way he's brought others into the game. But he gets his goal. He hit the crossbar earlier, and now he has it. 3-0, game, set, match. South Melbourne, and what a start to their NPL season. They're going to have bragging rights in the NPL head-to-head against Heidelberg. They're going to end their 8-game winless run, and a great start to the 2022 season for them. So,
and you'd have to say, with a +3 goal difference, decent shout to be top of the NPL Men Victoria table come the end of the opening round.
Absolutely, and a clean sheet as well to go with it. So a really, really just all-round solid performance from South Melbourne. Couldn't script a better opening round win for them.
Clarendon Corner certainly enjoying themselves as the trumpet rings out across here at the surface of Lakeside Stadium, and no doubt echoing across the Albert Park Lake.
Must be mentioned, another great advertisement for not only the NPL Victoria, but for the National Second Division. Two teams that we do know are going to put their hands up, South Melbourne especially. And scenes like this is a bit of a taste, a bit of a sizzle reel almost to put forward to Football Australia.
Well, we were talking about the depth that they have assembled, and if the National Second Division is coming in 2023, as has been hinted at, yeah, you'd like to be having some sort of depth now. As Heidelberg coming forward, chance for a late consolation from Shepherd. There it is there from Kane Shepherd. We talked about how he was their avenue to goal, and bang!
That is some finish from Kane Shepherd, just reminding us of his quality as to why he is one of the best strikers in NPL Victoria. It's great to have him back here, and that is just brilliant. Got the ball, took a touch, curved that into the top corner. He had a chance earlier. He forced a great save from Javier Lopez. He's worked his tail off in this second half, and he caps off a brilliant 45 minutes. And it will only be a consolation for Heidelberg, but I tell you what, you can't take anything away from the finish.
Now, could we have a bit more late action? Ingham trying to get his name on the score sheet in his debut.
I don't think South will be too happy they didn't get the clean sheet at the end of the day. So we're talking about how it was potentially the perfect way to start the season, and Kane Shepherd said, well, we're going to take something. Let's at least get a consolation from that. So it's goal number 1 for the season for Kane Shepherd, of probably plenty more if his record is to go off anything. As we mentioned, averaged almost a goal a game in his first stint at Heidelberg.
So 90 seconds of regulation remaining here. Lakeside Stadium. We only had 1 minute of added time in the opening stanza, despite 2 goals. Perhaps a little bit more to do with a red card and injuries in this one.
A brief foray here for Heidelberg. We've seen some dramatic scenes in NPL Victoria throughout the years.
I mean,
not saying it's going to happen tonight, but you never know.
Well, judging off the last 10 minutes, Nick, maybe if we want a grandstand finish, we should say one isn't coming. Zakada trying to keep the ball in the attack with an acrobatic overhead kick, but it's seized upon by South. They'll come forward now in transition. Players arriving in the middle. Slows up a little bit. Ingham. South will just slow it down in the end. Harrison Sawyer's playing in the back line. What happens when you can't transition with your side? You've got to do the defensive duties.
Well, unfortunately, when you're the striker, but not as quick as your fellow forwards, you just got to hang back and make your way there in your own time. Fashionably late.
Maxi Mikola takes another tumble. He's been in the wars.
Yes, he has. He took a nasty, well, not was, as we mentioned, non-malicious challenge from Ivan Franjic earlier, and he's looks like now maybe he's succumbed to, his efforts today, maybe a bit of cramp laid on. He's put in a brilliant showing, exactly why he was in the NPL Queensland Team of the Year. And as we mentioned, Joey, we've seen so many players make the transition. Henry Hoare was at South Melbourne last year. Now we see he's starting for the Brisbane Roar every week in the A-League Men's. Is Max Mikler potentially one of the next in the pipeline to make the leap in the years to come? But for the time being,
it is only round one, Nick.
Yes, I know. But from what we're seeing so far, we've got to pump up our players here, Joey. It's been a good start so far from Max Mikler.
As he'll have to make his way to the sideline again.
But for now, he is South Melbourne's, and it's going to be fun watching him this season, seeing how he progresses as the year goes on. But also he's holding his shoulder a little bit. Bit of a nasty collision. Well, hopefully nothing too serious.
Who knows, maybe we get the domestic transfer system sooner rather than later, and South can cash in.
Potentially.
Depending on what sort of contract they've given him, I guess.
Yes. But as mentioned, he's South's for now, so I'm sure they want to get the best out of him.
Ninkovic will give chase on this one. Can't get there before Marshall, just puts it out of bounds.
So really back to the drawing board now for Heidelberg, up against Dandy Thunder, back at home next week at the Village. Dandy Thunder in action on Sunday nights at home.
90 minutes has expired here at Lakeside, so this is real last throw of the dice areas. Malin Roberts is there, he rose up high. In doing so, he's absolutely cleaned up one of his opponents, and he's going to earn a card that matches the colour of his shirt for his troubles. And
he got high for that one, and I think that might actually... That's not Harrison Sawyer, but...
It's one of South's bigger bodies.
Yankovic,
I think it's Yankovic, yep.
Just taking his time here, eating up some precious seconds.
I imagine it was slightly disconcerting as well to see a human being the size of Malin Roberts flying at you. Lopez sends this one long. Sawyer underneath it. Roberts hasn't been scared off challenging for those aerial balls, and now he's inadvertently taken out Sawyer.
Yes.
Sawyer holding his head, so this game will be paused for that. Always have to pause for head injuries. On the ball is Adam Bavkar.
They've been in the wars all evening, Roberts and Sawyer. We've said it so many times, it's been a great matchup. Will be again when they meet again later this season. But a good start to the season for Harrison Sawyer, looking to build on and scoring 4 goals last season. He's already got 1 and did score in this meeting last year, but he could have easily had 2. That header smack it against the crossbar early in the second half. But a lot to like about his performance today.
See that Jai Ingham making runs and showing for the ball despite the fact that it was going straight back to Heidelberg. See, he's desperate to
he wants
get his
a goal
on the score sheet.
He wants a goal.
Berger's carrying this one forward. No guesses for what is about to happen. Hoofed long. Knocked onwards. Offside. Would have been Route 1 football at its finest, but the assistant referee's flag foils any of those plans.
And no guesses for who that fell to. Kane Shepherd again. He's had Heidelberg's 3 chances for the game. He's scored 1 and forced, well, if you count that as a chance. And he's forced another save out of Javier Lopez. Javier Lopez, that is.
Long ball over the top. Late challenge coming in there from Marshall, but it did the job. Once again, Berger's getting, well, pretty much everybody except the goalkeeper forward for this one. Comes in towards the near post. Lopez heads cleared. Ninkovic collects. Put in towards the back post, and then Lopez with a strong grab there in his 6-yard box to close this game out. South Melbourne 3, Heidelberg United 1. It is Hellas that takes bragging rights over Alexander here in round 1 of the NPL Men's Victoria season. 3 of the best from South Melbourne, 3 points, top of the table, by default at least. But Nick, a deserved win for South in the end.
Absolutely, with a better team from the off. They took their chances brilliantly in the first half, 2-0 ahead. And then the second half, after Aiden Federhaji got sent off, I'm afraid that was the final nail in the coffin. Harrison Sawyer put the game to bed. Kane Shepherd with a brilliant goal to get Heidelberg back into it. But back to the drawing board for them and for South Melbourne. Well, this is the perfect start. They're looking to end that elongated wait to play finals football again. And this is the way to kick it off. And Sweet Caroline ringing around Lakeside Stadium in the Clarendon corner, and the South fans are absolutely loving it. Great start for Hellas.
Sweet Caroline, interesting musical choice considering some of the rivals that South Melbourne have, but it was Alan Webb getting the scoring for South Melbourne. Max Mikula getting the second. As the Clarendon corner loving the tunes. South Melbourne get the win here at a picturesque Lakeside Stadium. NPL Victoria is back. The NPL is back in general. Community football coming to you from grounds and parks across the nation. And for Victoria, Capital Football, Football New South Wales and Football South Australia on NPL.tv. You can catch all of that action. Tonight, I've been joined by Nicholas Stabano. My name has been Joey Lynch. The final score here at Lakeside, South Melbourne 3, Heidelberg United 1. For now, goodbye.